Welcome to Dreamstake event, Funding Innovation in London. The aim of this event is to learn from those who have experience of raising funds and also providing them. Tonight's speakers are amazing, and thank you all for agreeing to come and talk.
We passionately believe that over the next few years, these are going to be the best years for entrepreneurs in London. There's a lot going on at the moment. You can't really watch the television or pick up a newspaper at the moment without hearing how entrepreneurs are going to make a big difference in London.
My name is Tom Butterf. I'm a Senior Relationship Manager for NatWest Commercial Bank. I have a broad client base, but over the last few years, the focus has become more and more on the growing technology sector in London. This makes sense for both myself and the bank to get more involved in this sector because, as Paul rightly pointed out, entrepreneurship is going to be one of the main drivers to get us out of a recession, and it's constantly growing in London. It's in the press on a day-to-day basis. There's a scheme out there. It's the reincarnation of a small firms loan guarantee scheme. It's called the Enterprise Finance Guarantee Scheme. Not that EFG enables you to do is borrow anything from £1,000 up to £1 million from a term from 6 months up to 10 years. The government, providing that we can show to the government that the business is viable, that you've got debt capacity, that you can service the debt, you're a viable proposition, if the only thing stopping us will be that lack of security, the government will actually step in and guarantee 75% of that deal. The bank is left with a 25% exposure, and then we'd ask for the directors normally to put an unsupported guarantee in. That just ensures their buy-in going forward so that they're bought into the business and they can't just walk away if the business was to fail, for example. It's a good scheme. I've lent quite a bit of money on it just in the last year. The 500,000 that I lent recently was on the Enterprise Finance Guarantee Scheme, and it's something that the government's very much behind.
Hi, good evening everyone. Very briefly, what do you care about? We have been making investments. So we raised $500 million 2 years ago. We made about 14 investments over the last year in UK businesses and European businesses and US businesses. So, okay, what problem are you solving? I think too often there are fantastic ideas, fantastic inventions around that aren't actually solving anyone's problem. So what's the clear problem? How is your solution different, disruptive to the norm? Then for us, it's all about size. So is this $1 billion market? Have you got some sort of defensible advantage? I think the key point there is sort of defensible and long term. It doesn't just mean being the first person to come up with an iPhone app that allows you to send, I don't know, singing penguins to your friends. Next piece is really important, which is about a quality product. Anything online, anything mobile, is all about a fantastic product, and that's what's really going to come down to. So everything about simplicity, about a smooth, slick product experience, making this very sort of not requiring anyone to learn anything is essential for the product. And I think the icing on the cake is a good pitch and a sensible plan. And a good pitch is less than 10 slides, and it catches people's imagination, and it's got images in it, and something which gets the attention of a board investor that's seen 10 business plans already that day. Look, there are going to be £1 billion, $1 billion companies started in the UK over the next 10 years. The hope is that more of one of you are going to start one of those companies, and that we're one of your investors.
Next speaker is Inmaculada Martinez, and believe me, we're very lucky to have her here. Inma is a serial entrepreneur and investor, and is considered one of the world's leading digital media strategists.
Investors invest in teams. They don't invest in one-man show. I'm going to give you a logical reason for that. If that one-man show crosses the road in Hackney Road and gets run over by a bus, guess where everything goes? Now, why is it a good idea to invest in teams? Because, number one, you get 3 for the price of 1. 3 awesome, clever, amazing people with fantastic backgrounds that they're just going to make it happen. But also, these people have learned to compromise between themselves in discussions, like, should we develop for this? Should we develop? By the time they come and meet you, they're a glued force. And you're investing in them, not in just the one man that gets run over by a bus. So if you're alone and you have your idea, the best, most economical thing is bring co-founders. Don't be equity greedy. Go and meet other people that are just what you needed, and then complement your skills, and then say, do it together, because the more and the best, the merrier. So Be very choosy and know who also has to share the pain with you. Very important.
Glenn is the founder and CEO of Booking Back, and it's an online booking and reservation system for services businesses.
There's two interesting arguments to this about when you raise funding, about the proof of your product. So you've got this great idea, you've got this world-changing idea, you think it's going to be fabulous, it's going to go viral. You're going to get 1 million users in 2 weeks. Whatever you say is going to happen. The problem is, if you build it and it doesn't happen, they're going to want to know why. So you've got two problems here. You've got two choices. You can either not build it at all, rely on slideware, rely on really early prototypes that really you can't launch, and really emphasize the fact that you can't launch until you get the funding. You really need the funding to launch. What you don't want to get caught in is a situation where you're kind of launched, or you're ready to launch. They're like, well, tell us when you're launched. Tell us when you've got some users. Get your first paying customer, or get your second paying customer. Oh, you've got 5, well, why haven't you got 10? And you end up with this endless spiraling conversation with the investors always coming back with saying, well, if you just get more users, and actually you end up profitable and you wonder why they're talking to you in the first place. So either build it and prove it, come with the very strong case about why your business is great, because you've already proved it. You've got enough customers, you can show the J-curve they so adore, or don't build it at all. But that middle ground is very dangerous.
Our next speaker is Lucien Tarnowski. And Lucien, aged 26, is an energetic face behind bravenewtalent.com.
I'm really, really excited right now. I'm really excited to be an entrepreneur. I think this is an awesome time. No matter how hard it is, it's an awesome time to be an entrepreneur. And I think it's an awesome time for 3 reasons. Number 1, change is everywhere. There has never been so much change happening in such a short space of time. I say we're living in a time of exponential change. If you think about how social media, how digital is changing just about everything, what I always say is where there's change, there's opportunity. And so if you can spot that change and you can be on the right side of that change, there's business models in that. The second thing is its location. London is becoming an awesome hub. It really is. If you saw the press that David Cameron, the profile that he wants to put into London, there's many things that London has. It's not the Valley, it's not New York, it's not Washington, it's not Shanghai, but in a way it's a mix of all those things. And we've got things that San Francisco doesn't have. We've got things that the Valley doesn't have. And we are in a really great location here. So many British companies and European companies have got this attitude that we're born global, that we start by looking at the global market, whereas in the US, so often it's focus on the US market, get the US market right. And I think if you see what's hot in the US, and then you look at how you can do that in the UK, you can actually scale to create a global success first. And now the third point is I'm really excited because I'm young. Is anyone else young here? Well, young at heart, right? Yeah, so you're only as old as you think you are. So one thing that I think is awesome about being young is it's the first time ever in history that the youngest people in society, the youngest people in the workforce, are actually an authority on something that matters. Think about that. When my parents graduated, they weren't an authority on anything. Nothing they said or knew about actually mattered. Whereas I'm in my 20s and my kind of generation have seen all the change. We've only known change. And the really interesting thing about my generation is they are defining the change. They're the early adopters with social media, and some of the greatest businesses, Mark Zuckerberg comes to mind, are being started by entrepreneurs in their 20s. It's the first time ever in history that young people are an authority on something that matters.
The best kinds of innovations start with a slow hunch. You start from a situation where you think you've identified an opportunity, and it kind of bounces around a little bit. This is how Google started. Yeah, there's a hunch going around about how we can innovate, we can change what's going on, and we start with a slow hunch. And then what do we do with that? Well, if we sit on it, we don't go anywhere. The important thing to do is to find your ecosystem, to find the environment where you can play off of other folks. This is a really interesting idea, this idea of a collaborative ecosystem, and it's one of the things that the Valley has got sorted out that is much more difficult for us to create here. But it's not impossible. And in fact, Dreamstake are working on some innovations in this area, and we'll soon be announcing what we're going to be doing in terms of helping companies create that kind of collaborative ecosystem.
I was very impressed. I thought it was a very good sort of cross-section of UK entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurship, new companies is the lifeblood of a country.
It needs to be easier to actually find people like business angels, which obviously an event like this helped in that. We need greater information about such things, a better dialogue between the potential entrepreneur and the banks as well.
The event tonight was great. It's a great opportunity to hear from entrepreneurs and how they got their own investments, and big corporations, especially. It's good hearing from NatWest to see what they actually want, and it's fantastic meeting old faces, new people, and it's a great way to build contacts and expand your network.
The evening overall has been excellent. I mean, the important thing will be the connections, I guess, that people are making as we're talking now.